Hey y'all, welcome back to Genesis Homestead. If you are new here, my name is Emily. Most people call me Em, and I am Mrs. Genesis Homestead. And today I'm gonna give you a full garden tour. Now I've been waiting for so long to show y'all the progress that we've been making in the garden. But first, let me give you a little bit of background because it's been a while. So last year was my first garden season here in Mississippi. So when I chose this spot, which is on the side of our house, I felt really good about this spot. It was close to the house. I can keep an eye on the garden. Only thing was it's on a downward slope, but that's okay because you can still garden on the slope. So that wasn't like a deal breaker, but I did plan to level the garden. So I didn't do any amendments. We didn't add any dirt. We didn't correct the slope. We just started gardening, and it was a great garden year. But there was some issues when it rained, and when it rains here, it pours, and it pours for days straight. So the water that was coming down the slope made gullies, like little finger gullies, and it took a lot of soil. It took a lot of dirt with it, so the gullies got deeper and deeper and deeper. But I worked around it. I didn't do any corrections. We knew that this year was going to be the year that we made corrections. So the first thing on the agenda for this garden season was to level the garden, and that involved bringing in dirt and more dirt and more dirt. And that is just to level the garden. For one, to give me more room to plant things that I want to plant. Two, to get rid of those gullies. So after getting everything all leveled, the next thing that we had to focus on was retaining what we did. Because of course now we have all this space and we have all this dirt, but it's gonna rain soon, right? So the next thing we did was we bought in wood chips to absorb that moisture. And then Maurice made, what do you call it? A thingamajiggy. What is it? Maurice came in and he dug a trench. And in this trench, he added like a little wall. It's not aesthetically pleasing, but y'all, it works. And it worked like a charm. So a lot of that water that was coming down towards the garden, he reverted it to go away from the garden. So that was the second improvement that we did. So we leveled, we are reverting that water somewhere else. We have wood chips down so that we can absorb most of that water as well. The first thing that went into the ground were the tomatoes. I'm gonna show you my tomatoes. Okay. So here are my tomatoes, and this year I did use tomato cages, but I also made trellises as well, and it was a lot cheaper than these $10 tomato cages. Can y'all believe they are selling tomato cages for like $10, y'all? There was no way I couldn't do it. So I bought these bamboo sticks from Lowe's, and it's like 25 in a pack, like $5 a pack, which was a deal. So I took those and we made the like TP like trellises. I found this idea on Pinterest and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So I made a few. My baby girl Mia did the rest, and she did a great job. And we came out here and we got all of the tomatoes in. I have some beefsteak tomatoes. I have some Black Beauty tomatoes. Every single plant in this garden has a flower or a fruit. So we are in business, y'all. Look at this one. I think this is a beefsteak plant. I lost my labels, by the way, so I'm gonna be surprised with my harvest. These tomatoes are Jetstar tomatoes. I still have the label for these. This variety is Jetstar, and it's my first time growing these. I heard really good things about this tomato, the flavor and the size. And let me show you my Black Beauty. I was really excited about growing this tomato. I started this tomato plant, I started all of them indoors. This is a Black Beauty that I started indoors. This is my first time growing it. I don't have any flowers on this one. Actually, I do. I do have a bunch of flowers here. And I'm really excited to see the fruit from this plant because I think it's beautiful. Oh, thank you for showing me. I do have one. Look at that. My baby girl Mia just pointed it out. She's really good at finding fruit, y'all. Look at that, my first Black Beauty tomato. And these tomatoes are doing really well as well. I think that this is my cherry tomato plant. I have been pruning this plant like crazy, y'all, and it just continues to put on so many leaves. The fruit is looking really good. So those are my tomatoes, and around the tomatoes I added marigolds to deter some pests, you know, as much as possible. Deer do not like marigolds. I don't have nearly enough marigolds out here to stop deer, okay? But I'm trying, you know, you never know. So I do have a bunch of marigolds out, and the next thing that I planted after planting my tomatoes, I started on my peas, because purple hull peas are one of our favorite peas, y'all. And I grew a lot last year, but this year I'm growing a ton, and I'll tell you why. So these are the peas. I'm trying to get you a good view of them. I think I have 10 rows of peas, purple hull peas. These are pink eye purple hull peas, and I have so many because we ate so many last year. It's something that they absolutely love. We all love these peas, and I also wanted to grow enough for others, people who may want some peas, you know, to donate to someone. Family and friends. I have a lot of family that have not had purple hull peas, so I'm gonna give some away. And I want to show you this space out here. So this space all the way here, all the way down, I'm gonna grow peas there too. I don't want them to all grow at the same time, so I'm not planting them yet. I know you noticed that that's on a slope, right? But that's okay, because purple hull peas will grow on a rock, y'all. But they are really good for growing on hills and slopes too, so that is not a concern at all, because it is going down in a downward slope. Y'all see that? It's going down, and that's gonna be for giveaway too. I want to grow as many as I can in that area, enough that I can bless some families with. So that's the plan for my peas. Now, after my peas, the next thing that went into the ground were my okra. I grew a lot of okra last year too, but deer ate my okra. So this year I put in about 10 rows of okra. No, it's not 10 rows. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of okra. So I had nowhere near this many last year, and I had a lot. I still have okra in the freezer that I grew from last year. So I have plenty of okra, and I'll be canning okra. I'll also be canning my peas. But I have a funny story about my okra. So it's not really funny because it kind of messed me up a little bit. But while we were prepping the garden, the rain caught us. And the rain caught us at a time where we didn't have our wood chips down, right? We only had our okra rows, and I had already put in like 3 rows of okra. The first row came up beautiful. I'll show you. The second row had not come up yet, and the third row they were still seed. So that rain came, y'all. That rain came through and washed my rows. So I'm gonna have mystery okra in different places on this side of the garden because the rain washed away seed, and it washed away some small seedlings of the okra that were sprouting, and I had to reseed. So they look small compared to the first row. Let me show you. So here's what the okra looks like on the first row. You know, they're pretty good height. And then on the second row, you know, they're a little smaller. And we got some that are small because I had to replace what washed away. And they look pretty good now. I'm not concerned about them. The third and the fourth row, they're coming up. So they look pretty good. Still pretty small, especially this row. And then after I planted my okra, I planted my pepper. I grew so much pepper this year, y'all. Jalapeno peppers, my first time growing Jimmy Nardello and Asparagus peppers, chili peppers, and they're all growing. Let me show you what my chili peppers look like. Look at this one, and it's a really, really good size, y'all. And the smell of pepper is really loud. Like, it smells really good. My peppers, I'm gonna tell you what happened with my peppers, because right now they look really sad. They've been looking sad for a few days. So let's get back to this rain. I think this is a bell pepper. No, this is an Asparagus pepper. So the rain was coming through so much, y'all, that I didn't have time to put my peppers in the ground. And days went by, so they sat in a corner in the garden and they started to look a little pitiful. Look at that, they just came right off. And I got really concerned for a minute, but then I'm like, you know what? I can only do what I can do. I'm not gonna let it concern me too much. I'll just put them out here as soon as I can. So I got them all in the ground. This one, y'all, suffered. Like, all the leaves fell off this one. And I'm not sure what. I've never seen this before. We have another pepper plant, another chili pepper plant that looks really good. We have a really healthy one here. This is a jalapeno plant. No peppers yet. Got some blooms. Well, they're small. All right, so got my peppers in the ground. I'm praying for my peppers, okay? And next thing I got in the ground were my cucumbers. And let me show you my cucumbers. Here are my cucumbers, y'all. So my cucumbers are doing marvelous. I used the dog kennels that we kept our Great Pyrenees in. We disconnected them and made them out of trellises. They work great. It was super easy. They were heavy, so Maurice did all the heavy lifting, but once we got them back here, it was really easy. I think I did this one by myself and this one by myself, but they turned out to be great for trellises. And my cucumbers, they are climbing, y'all. And I have some flowers. I have little baby cucumbers. Let me find one. That's a tiny one. I have some baby ones over. Have some flowers over here. So my cucumbers, I have this trellis and this trellis are cucumbers. And in between the cucumbers, we have salvia. This plant is called salvia, and it is deer resistant. And it's compatible with the cucumbers. It keeps away a lot of pests that will eat away at the cucumbers, and I think it's doing pretty well. I did use some First Saturday lime back here because of the ants. It's dried up, you know. It's been a couple weeks since I applied it. It's supposed to be organic and safe, so I was like, let me try this and see. And I think that's helping as well. And the marigolds I have here with this on this trellis next to the cucumbers. I forgot the name of the type of marigolds, but they smell really good, and they are also deer resistant. And I have those on the back here as well. And so y'all, excuse me if I'm going too fast right now. I have a habit of talking fast and moving fast sometimes when I'm excited, so I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast. So I just showed you my cucumbers. Let me show you my yard-long asparagus beans. These are yard-long asparagus beans. They call them yard-long because they actually grow very, very, very long. And this is my first time growing these and actually getting the plant to come up. I tried to grow these a couple years ago because I love the asparagus beans. They don't even make it in a pot. We eat them raw. They are delicious. So I'm growing these and they look pretty good. So this whole trellis has asparagus beans, and I have zinnias. I'm sorry, did I mix up the name of this plant? I got the name of this plant wrong. I mixed up two plants. So the first plant that I showed you that I have mixed in with my cucumbers, that's a zinnia. This plant is called salvia. So let me show you. It's very pretty. This is salvia. The other plant that I showed you first is not salvia, it's zinnia. And they're very pretty. I am getting some bug damage though, so I'm gonna apply some First Saturday lime again. This trellis is also asparagus beans. I didn't want them to grow at the same time, so I spaced out. These are about 3 weeks old, and I just planted these beans like 3 days ago, and they have not come up yet. Actually, I think I did see one that's trying to come up through the soil. I'm not gonna mess with it. Yes, I am. It's right there. And this one is trying to come up. And I got them all on the back side over here as well. These are actually coming up. They were not here earlier. I was out here in the garden. I didn't see them. So they've started to come up since this morning. So those are gonna come up and look just like these. Okay, so we've talked about our purple hull peas. We've talked about our okra, our peppers, our tomatoes. We've talked about our cucumbers and our yard-long asparagus beans. We've talked about our companion plants. And this year was my first year actually incorporating companion plants, believe it or not. That's why I got it wrong, because I'm new to plants. I'm more into veggies, fruit. So I did incorporate some plants, some flowers in this year, and I'm gonna continue to do that because they're pretty and they're beneficial. So I want to show you my peas again because I'm so proud of my peas. I have not thinned the last 5 rows, and I'm contemplating on if I need to, because you know how you plant 2 seeds per hole. Well, they all sprouted. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna separate them because I don't want overcrowding and that causes issues. So I'm gonna go through. I just hate the thought of taking a plant and just tossing it, so I'm gonna put it somewhere else, because you know, y'all, I don't like to waste things. I'm not very wasteful. So these are my peas. I'm so proud of them. They're doing really well. I'm gonna pray for my okra, and I'm gonna pray for my peppers, y'all. We're gonna get through this. Oh, one more thing. I want to show you this. Okay, so Maurice has been building me a retaining wall because the dirt had washed away in the back end of the garden. It basically collapsed, to be honest with you. So in the video you saw how he added the dirt and kind of made the form on the end. Well, when it rained, it completely collapsed on the back end. There was nothing to hold it, you know. So Maurice is building me a retaining wall out of pallets. Y'all, I tell you, my husband is awesome. He dives in and he gets it done the best way that he can, and I'm so proud of him. And he's wonderful, and he's been working really hard trying to get this wall up before the next big rain. And we've actually had a big rain since he started, and it held. So kudos to you, Maurice, because you are amazing. So the next thing that we're going to talk about are the watermelon. So the watermelon came last. I planted that last because of the work that needed to be done on the back end. I decided to move the watermelon outside, on the outside of the garden, because I just really didn't have room for them. They got really, really big last year. So I'm planting the same kind of watermelon, Jubilee watermelon, and I know that they're gonna need a lot of room. So I took them out the garden and put them outside the garden, and I'm gonna show you those. Okay, I still have a lot of work to do on this end. We're adding wood chips in this area to retain the moisture, because the watermelon plants are like, you know, they get a lot of water, but then it's dry. So let me show you. So here's one of my watermelon plants. These are Jubilee watermelon, and we have about 10 watermelon plants, and these are behind the retaining wall on the outside of the garden. Now, the deer are not concerned about the watermelon as I thought they were, because they didn't bother them at all last year. They didn't even eat the leaves or anything. So they look pretty healthy. Thank you for coming to water my watermelon. I was just saying how dry they were. You're awesome. So now that Mr. Genesis Homestead is over here watering my watermelon, I'm gonna walk away so he can do his thing. I don't want to distract you. I told y'all he's awesome. But that is everything that I am growing this season. I focus mainly on stuff that we love, and I'm glad I did it that way, because it took a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of work, a lot of effort. Just, you know, we wanted that effort to go into everything that we eat and that we love. You know, I thought about doing some experimenting this year, but maybe next year or the year after, or whenever. You know, I'm not in a big hurry. So everything that I'm growing is something that we eat. Peas, watermelon, peppers, jalapeno peppers. You know, we make jalapeno poppers from the jalapeno peppers. We put them in our tacos, our nachos, cowboy candy. Oh my gosh, y'all. Cowboy candy. Mr. Genesis Homestead loves cowboy candy. You done?
It all 6 or 8, whatever, over there. They
okay.
all watered up.
It's 10 of them.
And I'm done burning. So
awesome.
I'm gonna let you have it. Have fun.
I'm almost done. I'll be in a minute. I know you're hungry.
Yes.
Okay, y'all. So, like I was saying, we put our time and energy into everything that we like to eat. Things that I want to experiment with, I have plenty of time to do that. So, I'm happy with the results because last year was dreadful. I was so thankful for the harvest, y'all, but it was hard. I put in hard work all garden season long. I didn't have a break, and I didn't want that again this year. So with the retaining wall and the wood chips and just the work that we did to make sure that this garden holds up, I think that'll be sufficient for this year. Every year the garden is going to improve, right? You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm happy with what we have. We've worked really hard and I'm proud of us. Oh, I almost forgot. I grew squash and zucchini. And let me show you the squash and zucchini. This is, oh, y'all, so I lost a lot of tags. The wind took them away, or they just fell out, or I don't know. But I think this is zucchini. So I have squash and zucchini, and I have peppers in between my squash and zucchini because they're really good companions to squash and zucchini, and they're good repellents too. Mia made me these cages, the same ones that she used for the tomatoes. She made them for the squash and zucchini because I wanted to try something different this year to keep them off of the ground. And what she decided to do, y'all, was she wanted to wait until they grew more to add her layers like she did the tomatoes. She said, you know, Mom, I'm gonna wait until they start to actually grow, and I'm gonna add the layers as they grow. I want to do something different. I was like, okay, that is totally fine. That is actually a great idea. So she's gonna add the layers as they grow, which means that I'm gonna do it because they're gonna be on summer vacation and she's not even gonna be here. So I'm gonna add the layers later. But I'm growing the squash and zucchini. The kids love squash and zucchini, so I threw those in here as well. That's what we have, y'all. I gotta go make dinner. I can't stay out here lollygagging all day. I gotta go. But I am so glad that I got this video out of the way because I've been holding it in, wanting to show y'all all of our progress. And I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me some ideas if y'all think, you know, I could do something a little different. I'm kind of going with the flow. I don't have like this blueprint of what my garden is gonna look like. I want to make it more homey. Does that make sense? So I want to have like a bench, you know, a little table, a little round table and a chair, so I can sit out in the garden. That's what I mean about homey. That's what I mean. And I plan to do that. You know, I want to add more flowers. Like I said, I'm new to flowers and I love perennials, but I'm afraid to add perennials because what if I want to change stuff around, you know? But give me some suggestions. I'm open. So thanks again for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know that you saw the video. Okay? Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll see you in the next video.